As we begin this program, it's going to be a very short program. I know it's raining. It seems like it kind of cleared up. I manifested this. I told Bob, we're not going to do this inside the council chambers. We're going to do this here outside with the lowering of the flags with our honor guards from our police department. But before we begin, I just wanted to let you guys know, I've been the mayor for 20 minutes. Planning this only took like 3-4 days, but I reached out to like Dr. Musalam to get the band here. And not that I didn't want to reach out to all the other districts. I just know that I was able to pick up Dr. Musalam and just be like, Doc, please, can you help me here? And he did. So is Dr. Musalam here today? Yeah, he's here. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you to the band. Thank you for the short notice. I want to thank the superintendents also from Westwood and also from D7 who are also here with us. I want to recognize them and give them a round of applause. There are a lot of elected officials here today. And so I don't want to go through the list because I might miss them. But for all the elected officials that are here today, can you please stand up so you guys can be recognized, please? I know we have our Councilwoman Menalowski-Maxwell, our treasurer, our clerk, Council Chairman Ahmad, Council Chairman Pro Tem Saab, our trustee Najah, if I'm missing anybody else, and our very own Honorable Councilwoman Nancy Breyer. Thank you guys all for being here today. I want to thank the staff. I told some of us all here, like, hey, we're just going to close up the mayor's office and we're going to show our respect. Especially for what is taking place. I also want to recognize the band who showed up here on a very short notice, and if we can recognize them and give them a round of applause. It's so important that we are empowering our youth and engaging everybody in this. Mayor Canfield was the first and only mayor, a woman to represent the city of Dearborn Heights. She is somebody that actually brought in technology, which I know this community doesn't really like to see change, but she brought in internet. The first mayor to bring in internet to the city of Dearborn Heights. And so, when I read this, I was like, this is absolutely amazing. And my, first couple of interactions with Mayor Canfield was, I was in middle school and I got a visit from the mayor. And I said, there's a woman mayor that is absolutely amazing. And she spoke out to us and she talked about how basically local government works, her job. I believe she was there also with a fire chief and a police chief. I don't remember who they were. Please don't question me on that. I was probably like 7 years old, 8 years old. But the good news is, in that very small time, I was able to learn about her and get to know her. And believe it or not, before coming in and being sworn in as mayor, the first thing that I was able to do before departing and moving into the executive role was doing a moment of silence at the council chambers as soon as we found out. And I know that the community is at loss of losing our mayor, Mayor Canfield. As today begins, I want to start off with all of us recognizing and standing up for our honor guard and giving our police department a round of applause, who also did this at a very short notice. The men and women in our police department are some of the most amazing individuals, and we are lucky. Dearborn Heights is lucky to have this police department be here with us, our fire department being here with us, and some individuals that really care and fight for us day in and day out. That has not been echoed across the community for many years, and we want to make sure we remind our residents that our fire department, our police department risk their lives every single day. And look, sometimes you might not like it when they show up to your house, but when you do call them, you are going to like it when they do show up. And so we want to be able to make sure that we recognize the men and women in our police department and our fire department. Thank you. Next up, who does not need any introduction when it comes to me, but to all of you, I'd ask you to please rise as we start our national anthem today with Mesa from our Crestwood students who will lead us in the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That was awesome. That is Mesa. That is our very own, our students, our residents here. Another loud round of applause for Mesa and her family. Thank you so much. While I can tell you guys my very small interactions with the late Mayor Ruth Canfield, I cannot tell you being able to say that I've been able to work with Mrs. Mayor Canfield, but there are some individuals who are still here, who still work with us, who still reside with us, and I would love to call them forward today. First and foremost, I would like to call our former treasurer, who still works with the city of Dearborn Heights, John Riley, up to the podium to give us some wise words today.
Good, I guess it's afternoon now. Good afternoon, everybody. So my name is John Riley, and I was the elected treasurer for the 10 years that Mayor Canfield was our mayor. I owed my career to Mayor Canfield. She not only helped me first get elected, but she taught me how to serve. Not only as a politician, not as a politician, but as an elected public servant. Ruth Canfield would host coffees in the community restaurants and bring citizens' concerns back to the department heads for us to resolve. She took her department heads to Crestwood and Annapolis high schools to educate high school seniors about local government and possible future careers here at the city. She was actively involved with Vista Maria, helping troubled young ladies. Mayor Canfield served with honesty and integrity. At the end of my first term, the then council chairman told me that Ruth was looking for somebody to run against me. So I asked the mayor if this was true, and she said, "Come with me," and we went down to her office, where she promptly called the council chairman at his day job and asked when this supposed conversation took place. She called his bluff. I knew right then and going forward who I could believe and who was just another politician. While I didn't always agree with Mayor Canfield, I always knew her position and why she felt the way she did about an issue. She loved Dearborn Heights. It was in her blood. Dearborn Heights uses the strong mayor form of government. In 1963, when her father, John Canfield, was in the mayor's office, he had a sign on his desk that quoted President Harry Truman, "The buck stops here." After Ruth became the first female mayor of Dearborn Heights, she put that very same sign on her desk, and it was true. As part of the financing for the Justice Center, $20 million bond issue, we agreed to go to New York City to explain Dearborn Heights' financial plan to the municipal bond ratings agency, Standard & Poor's. This is when I first found out that Ruth wasn't very fond of pigeons. And as you could imagine, the streets of New York was not a place for somebody who wasn't very fond of pigeons. So later, Dearborn Heights adopted a nuisance bird ordinance. And soon, as you drive through Dearborn Heights, you will rarely see a pigeon in Dearborn Heights. Okay, now back to New York. Our bond consultant did not show up the morning of our meeting, so Ruth took charge. We went to the Standard & Poor's offices without him and without our presentation books. The consultant showed up while our meeting was in process, and you could easily have told that he was out too late, and Ruth was furious. As you can imagine, he was not employed with us long after that. Well, Dearborn Heights got a double upgrade from Standard & Poor's, so this meeting was a huge success. Dearborn Heights would pay a lower interest rate on the bonds, saving the Dearborn Heights residents hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. After that meeting, we went up into the World Trade Center before we caught our flights home. Not more than a month later, hijackers ran planes into those buildings. During her tenure, we not only constructed the Justice Center, but we purchased Berwyn Center from the Crestwood School District, securing a place for the North End seniors to meet. We completed the construction of the Richard Young Center that when we came into the office was $50,000 over debt, and we got Carmine Oliverio to get us an extra $50,000 to complete the job. We built a new North End fire station and started the construction for 2 new libraries. If others had had their way, the John F. Kennedy Jr. would not have been built on the south end, but for Ruth, she rightly insisted that that library be built because the ballot language said the construction of libraries. In summary, I could say that I could not have picked a better person to have started off my career. Ruth was the right person at the right time, and I wish that she had stayed longer. In short, I am sure she is up in heaven with former City Clerk Joyce Robbins and DPW Director Gary Blackburn, along with her mom and dad looking down over us in Dearborn Heights. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you guys for that. We are also going to hear from our fire chief, who also was not the fire chief, but also served as a regular firefighter, who's going to give us some remarks today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. So, as you said, I was a firefighter with just 2 years on the job when Ruth Canfield became mayor of Dearborn Heights. Looking back, that was a time of real change for both the city and the department. Mayor Canfield was deeply involved in the work of this city. She dedicated many years of her life to public service. And during her time as mayor, she helped guide some major changes that shaped how we serve this community. One of the biggest came in 1997 when we went from limited advanced life support to full paramedic service. I was on the executive board when that agreement was worked out with the city. And at that point, I only had about 5 years on the job. It was my first real look at how much coordination and leadership it takes from the mayor's office to make something like that happen, balancing the needs of the department, the union, the budget, and the community. It gave me a real respect for how many moving parts a mayor has to manage to bring a major change like that across the finish line. Then in 1999, we moved into our new fire station. At the time, that move represented a real commitment to public safety, giving our firefighters a modern, state-of-the-art facility to work from. Now, the building itself may not have aged quite as gracefully as we all would like, but it reflected the city's priorities at that time, supporting first responders and public safety. Mayor Canfield led the city through that period of growth and transition. Being a mayor isn't easy. It takes commitment, resilience, and the willingness to make tough calls. She gave many years of her life to this city, both on council and as mayor. And during her time in office, she helped move the city and the fire department forward in ways that still matter today. So on behalf of the Dearborn Heights Fire Department, I want to thank her for that service and offer my condolences to her family.
Thank you, Fire Chief Brogan. We are going to have our Crestwood Theater students to recite some music for us.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow blue, birds fly over the rainbow why then, oh why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why can't I?
Absolutely amazing. Before we lower our flags, I want to honor and respect and turn our seats over to our band. They are going to recite a little bit, and then we will continue on with our honorary guards to lower the flags. But before we do, I'd like to hear from our Crestwood band, if we can all turn our attention to them now. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I know the band director will be leading us and helping the honor guard to begin to lower the flags. If you may all please rise and turn our attentions to the flag. I will allow Lieutenant, almost future Captain, to come through here today, Sean Paulus, to lead the honor guard. Thank you.
Color guard, commence ceremonial lowering of the colors.
Detail, 10, hook. Forward, march.
Friends, family, thank you guys for being here with us. Thank you to our police and our fire department. Thank you to the superintendents, the band, the elected officials, all of you. This honorary today is to remind you that when you serve the residents of Dearborn Heights, your legacy will continue in the city of Dearborn Heights. As long as I'm here, I will pledge to that. I love you all. Thank you for coming out, standing in the rain, standing in the cold. Because Dearborn Heights is a community where we must all stand and remember to support, love one another. God bless you. May you all have an amazing day.
Thank you.